All right. I'm assuming Ashley's ready. I don't know how I can determine if this thing is recording or not.
I am so sorry, Supervisor Lucero. The mute button got the best of me there. I am ready, and we are recording currently. Okay. So that's on the.
Public comment for items not on the agenda. This item is reserved for persons wishing to provide comment to the board on any BCE related matters that are not otherwise on this meeting agenda. Public comments on matters listed on the agenda shall be at the time the matter is called. Public comments from members of the public that are read at this meeting will be limited to 300 words.
Chair Lucero?
Right. Yes.
Are we going to do a roll call?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I think that would probably be good, just so that everybody knows who's here. Okay, Ashley, sorry about that.
No worries at all, and thank you. Director Brown?
Here.
Director Teeter?
Here.
Director Huber is MIA at the moment, and Chair Lucero?
Here.
Perfect. And we do not have any, oh, I do have a new call-in user. Give me one moment. This is perfect timing.
I'm here.
Director, thank you. All right. So we have 4 directors present tonight. We can move on to public comment, which we have none at the moment, and I do not see any, we don't have any written public comment submitted, and I do not see any call-in members of the public.
One thing on public comment, are we doing the same thing? If someone is calling in, is it a 3-minute comment or a 5-minute comment? Is what has been decided for these meetings? Have we decided?
I'll step in here. I don't think that this body has dedicated an express number of minutes, to my recollection. Typically, it varies from 3 to 5. I think in the past we've done 5.
Yeah. I'd like to, if everybody's okay, I would like to say, we should offer 5 minutes to speakers if they bother to call in and want to be a part of the meeting.
So that's fine. And then for this meeting, if the rest of the board concurs, this is Harriet, and in the future, we can put that on the agenda.
Perfect. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that, because I thought about that last time and I forgot to mention it. Okay, on to the consent agenda. Approval of the minutes from July 27th, August 26th, September 28th, and October 19th, 2020 board meetings. The requested action is to approve the minutes from all of those dates. I am ready to entertain a motion.
This is Director Brown. So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any public comment, Ashley, on this?
No public comment for the consent agenda, and I just wanted to verify, was that you, Supervisor Teeter, with the second?
Yes, it was.
Okay, thank you so much. And then we'll do a roll call vote. Director Brown?
Aye.
Director Huber?
Yes.
Director Teeter?
Aye.
And Chair Lucero?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, moving on to the regular agenda. A, operations and administrative report from interim executive officers. We're going to receive updates on various administrative activities that are filed with this report, and the topics include vendor notifications, website update, general counsel, and BCE financials. Is that you, Brian?
Yep, this is Brian. Yeah, some quick updates on these handful of items. So to start with, the vendor notifications have been complete. So if you recall, obviously the last few months, we've decided to push back the launch date for BCE from 2021 to likely fall 2023 is our goal right now. And we have worked with all of our vendors, and later on the agenda, you'll see some contract amendments with a few of them to address this. But all the vendors that we have contracts with, Lean Energy, BB&K, Z Global, EES, was formerly EES, it's actually GDS now, Avery and Associates, Calpine, Pilot Power Group, PFM Financial, and as well as BCAG. All of these folks we've had agreements with have been notified of the change in the launch date, and we're working on the ones for 3 of them: Z Global, Pilot Power, and Calpine. Those are our 3 big contracts that we went to RFP early in 2020 on, and to retain services for data management, scheduling, and power purchasing. And again, we'll talk about those more at a later item on the agenda. But everyone's been informed. We've also made updates on the website to reflect. We obviously had information on there reflecting a 2021 go live date, but we've made all the corrections on that as well to reflect fall of 2023. General counsel, just as one of the contracts that I'll be working on, at least we recommend right now, the contract with BB&K. And again, let me back up a little bit. All of these contracts, or many of the contracts that require payment right now are with the county and have been with the county, because we don't have financials set up with Butte Choice Energy yet. So the number of contracts for our consultants that we've actively been working with and have been actively billing have been with the county, and then the city of Chico and the county have been splitting those costs. The one for BB&K is with the county, and it expires in February. And we recommend extending that 16 months just to align better with our fiscal year. And while we don't anticipate needing, what we've been billing or what we've been budgeting for is $10,000 a month for legal services. Obviously, the next few months are going to be dark, so we don't anticipate needing that, but we would recommend extending their contract 16 months with an additional $160,000, which would bring the total contract value to $280,000. And if there are no objections, we will bring that before the Board of Supervisors at a January meeting. And then once our finances are all set up for BCEA, all of the contracts would then revert to BCEA. But again, right now, since BCEA doesn't have finances set up, they're with the county. I'm happy to answer any questions. That one I know is a little bit cumbersome.
Do any board members have questions about that?
No.
Okay, I do have a question. Does that mean that for the 16 months, when you said we're going dark, what does that mean? Are we paying a retainer each month, or how will that work? What does that exceed amount include? What are the terms?
We're only billed as we use. So
Okay.
And the last agenda item is a proposed calendar for 2021, which and I'm kind of getting ahead of ourselves here, but I could plant the seed here. We're recommending not having any meetings until June. So we don't anticipate any work for the first few months in 2021. So we don't anticipate any bills for 2021. And as you'll see on the next slide here, when we get to the BCE financial update, really since October, our costs have really slowed down again because of the fact that we're deciding to push this back. So we won't be charged anything unless we call and use them for any services.
Okay, and I don't know if this would be the proper time to bring this up, but I had heard through the grapevine that PPG was kind of on the hook for a $3 million fine from the CPUC. I don't know if it has any relevance in our dealings with them, but this is with Western Community Energy down in Riverside. And I just wondered if that is going to affect us at all.
You know, I can look into that. I had not heard that at all. So I
heard it from one of my colleagues, and
okay.
And they asked me if we had PPG, and I said we did. And I guess they failed to purchase system resource adequacy in a timely manner for those guys, and they're facing a $3 million fine. I'm not sure how those kinds of things work out, but it's something to watch and for us to be aware of, because WCE, or I don't know what they used to be called, something else, Western Riverside or something like that. Who pays when something like that happens, Yeah,
I can say this. This was a big reason while that that specific thing is a big deal. If you recall, it's been 2 or 3 months now. I know it was towards the end of summer when we were decertifying Butte Choice Energy, and really BB&K they were instrumental and extremely helpful working with us to be able to decertify, because otherwise we would have had to procure RA when we weren't even going to be in existence. So yeah, I can't say whose fault that is. I don't, just not knowing information about it, but I would say that obviously the organization needs to be working closely with vendors and making sure that your obligations and your timelines are met. And I know just from the last couple of years working on this, there are a number of things you have to do by certain timelines. And if you don't procure them, I do know you can be penalized or fined, or but I'm happy to look into that. And if you'd like, I can look into that and send information only to the board.
Yeah, I think it would be good, since there are, procurement group, if everybody else is in agreement with that.
Sure.
Okay, I will definitely do that.
All right, thanks, Brian.
You bet. Okay, and then moving forward to the BCE financial update. As I mentioned here's all of our costs to date with all of our vendors. And as you can see then towards the bottom again, since October, and a lot of those October invoices were for September and for August services. Very little activity, there's been a lot of activity, but very little activity with our vendors that we're going to receive bills on for going forward at this point in time. So when I said things should slow down, they have slowed down as far as our costs, and they will continue to be minimal at this point in time until what we'll do is we'll reassess things in probably in March, April, in preparation for our June board meeting. But we'll get to that. We'll talk about that here at an item later on in the agenda.
Okay. All right, so we are just receiving that for information. Do any board members have any questions about any of this? And Ashley, do we have any comments from the public on this item?
No public comment for this item. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Moving on to B, adopt resolution to approve the City of Oroville as a new member and party to the JPA agreement. The requested action is to approve the resolution authorizing the City of Oroville as a new member of Butte Choice Energy, and commitment of $90,000 reimbursable to the City of Oroville. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, as per the terms outlined in section 7.3.2 of BCE's JPA agreement. A payment of $18,918 is due by the City of Oroville for costs incurred to date.
Yes, so this resolution would bring the City of Oroville in as a member of Butte Choice Energy. They have done everything. They've adopted their ordinance. They have signed the JPA agreement. They've agreed in principle here to these terms of a 15% pro rata share. So what we're saying here, directors, is that right now the city and county of the city of Chico and the county have both put in $300,000, and based upon this, based upon the energy utilization, 15% would be what we would be asking for from the City of Oroville for their prorated share, which is $90,000. And then as we work towards the launch, we would draw down from that $90,000, and then once BCE launches, again, all the costs incurred by all parties, the City of Oroville included, would be eligible for reimbursement. So that's why it says the $90,000 would be reimbursable to the City of Oroville.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, and so their cost today, 15% of our costs would be $18,918. So that's what we're going to be asking the City of Oroville for in this. And the plan would be for, once their new council is seated, they would appoint members that would sit on this board, and then our first board meeting in 2021, we would swear them in, and then we'd have 6 directors on this board.
Interesting. Okay.
Brian, this is Director Brown. I think you just answered my question, but this doesn't affect the makeup of the board as it is, except for the addition of those 2 board members?
Correct. We would have 6 now. Yep.
Thank you.
You bet.
So I mean, it does present an interesting idea, and I'm just wondering about this. So even though they're 15% of the energy, they still get 2 full seats on the board. Is that because of our bylaws?
That's in our JPA, and what would happen is, and if there was ever an issue where there was disagreement from the board, there are situations where the vote would actually go by percentage of share, your percentage. So for no better term, a weighted vote. However, we've been told by all the entities that we've spoken to that, I mean, very, very infrequently are there disagreements with. These programs have been so successful with regards to accomplishing so many different goals, from economic development to cost reduction to greener, cleaner energy to more renewable energies, that you can meet a lot of these goals. And so but if push comes to shove, there are situations where it would be based upon their percentage of energy versus just an equal share.
I just was curious about that.
Yeah, that's a good question.
The requested action is approval. Well, let's see. Approve resolution. Do we have any public comment on this, Ashley?
We do not have public comment on this item.
Okay, I would entertain a motion if everyone is in agreement.
Sure.
Somebody want to make a motion? Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the City of Oroville as a new member of Butte Choice Energy Authority.
This is Alex. I'll second the motion.
Okay, Ashley, could you do the roll call?
Yes, Director Brown,
Aye.
Director Huber,
Yes.
Director Teeter,
Is he still on?
you see, he may have dropped off and gone back on. Director Teeter,
Aye.
right on cue, thank you. Chair Lucero,
Aye.
motion carries unanimously.
Okay. Approval of contract amendments with certain BCE vendors. The requested action on this item is in light of recent board action to postpone BCE program launch to the fall of 2023. Approve amended contract dates to allow for temporary contract suspension rather than termination. And these include Calpine Energy Solutions, which is a data management call center service, Pilot Power Group, which is a technical energy service and portfolio and risk management, and Z Global is power scheduling.
Supervisor Lucero, I'm not sure if everyone else, I couldn't hear you a little bit. You were fading in and out there. But can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry. Was I breaking up
Okay.
to other people?
It was on my end.
Stop. Did you hear me, Alex?
Could everyone else hear Supervisor Lucero okay?
I can hear her fine.
Yeah.
Okay. It must have been my end.
I'm sorry, I was struggling with the mute.
So do you want me to repeat
these
that?
are our three.
Okay, good.
Nope,
Go
you're
ahead,
good.
Brian. Everybody else heard you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, her.
Yeah. So these are contract amendments with Calpine Energy Solutions, Pilot Power Group, and Z Global. And again, these are the big vendors that we went out to bid RFP for back in 2020, and we went through the interview process. Very good. We had others from other agencies on the panel with us, and essentially these three are very solid, reputable firms in the CCA arena with regards to data management and customer service and call center scheduling and power procurement. So they've agreed to basically push out their contracts 24 to 36 months, same terms. So we think, as we discussed this at our last board meeting in October, and we felt at the time if we could accomplish this, it would be well worth it for us to extend these contracts with these 3 firms. So they've all agreed, so the contract amendments are here for your consideration.
Okay. Are there any questions from the board? Ashley, are there any public comments for this item?
No public comment for this item.
Okay,
I would entertain a motion.
Can I take one caveat, Supervisor? I apologize. Just to be explicitly clear on one of them. Calpine Energy Solutions, we were still working with them on the amendment as of this morning. So the language has changed a little bit. There's been a sentence added to the amendment that was included in your board packet, but it doesn't change anything substantively. It just specifically states we'd give them a year's notice before we launch, which we are fine with. Just to be explicitly clear.
Harriet is fine with it. I'm fine with it. Is with it?
I am fine with it.
Okay, then I am fine with it.
Great. Thank you. I apologize.
That's okay. All right. So again, anyone want to move or make a motion?
Sure. This is Scott. Motion to accept the amendments.
And to postpone the, postpone the BCE program and extend these contracts.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have a second? Alex is really struggling with her internet. Can you chat, Alex? Possibly, but I will go ahead and second that. And then Ashley, if you could do a roll call vote, please. We're having troubles with the internet tonight.
Got it. And there is a chat at the bottom, so hopefully that will work. But let's give this a shot. Director Brown?
Aye.
Yes. Fantastic. Director Huber?
Yes.
Director Teeter?
Aye.
And Chair Lucero? The motion carries unanimously.
All right. Item D, adopt the resolution regarding BCE's 2021 regular meeting schedule. The requested action is to approve the regular board meeting calendar for 2021.
Great. And so this item here is traditionally our meetings are on the second day of the month, 5:30, and traditionally they've been at BCAG. Obviously, this has been an untraditional year, so we've deviated quite a bit here as we've had to, and certainly we hope to things get back to normal. It'd be fantastic if our first board meeting in 2021 was in person, but we'll obviously assess. But what we're recommending here is that the first 5 meetings of the year be canceled, but we still continue to have them on the second Monday of every month at 5:30. But our first board meeting be in June, then our second actual board meeting be in August, then October, and then December. Certainly, if things change and we need to have an additional board meeting, we could have a special board meeting. But at this point in time, we don't anticipate, again, given the fact that we're going to push our launch date back until the end of 2023, that we feel that if we reconvene in June, that would give us about the time where we need to start thinking about things yet again.
Okay. Pretty straightforward. Do I have a motion to adopt this board meeting schedule?
This is Alex, so
Motion to
moved.
adopt. Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Alex and seconded by Scott. Ashley, do you want to call the roll?
Yes, and before that, I'll announce that we have no public comment on this item. Director Brown? Director Brown?
Aye.
Thank you, Director Huber.
Yes.
Director Teeter.
Aye.
Chair Lucero.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, on to board member and staff announcements. Board members may briefly provide to other members of the board and the public, ask questions of staff, request an item to be placed on future agenda, or report on conferences, events, or activities related to BCE business. There is to be no action taken or on comments made by directors unless authorized by law. Does anybody have anything for the good of the board? Okay, I just have one thing. aside from the news about PPG, I had another question, and we briefly touched on this before, and perhaps we could, you could look into this, Brian, but I know that PG&E has a couple of hydro generation projects that are up for sale in our neck of the woods. And I was wondering what's happening with them, you know, what that would, you know, what that looks like, who possibly may buy them. You know, we're talking about different types of energy in our area that could be utilized by BCEA. And I'm just wondering if we could evaluate these opportunities, or, you know, if we had a legal authority to make such an asset purchase.
Yeah, I can certainly dig into that. My initial, I'm curious if, and Sean may have some input on this as well, but I suspect we might be, our timing may not align if they're selling right now, whereas let's say this was 5 years down the road where we had our debt paid off and reserves built up and we had that capital in play that we wanted to then, this is where it gets exciting to me, is where we actually start to choose at programs that are really special and unique to our community. That to me probably is the ideal time. But I'm not sure if it's an absolute deal breaker. But obviously, having those resources available down the road would certainly make it more. It seems viable to me. It might. But Sean, do you have any?
I hear you. I'm just curious because I'm wondering, like, well, what does that mean for our area? You know, is it, you know, it might be a good exercise to look at what, I don't know if they're going to sell them right away. You know, these things take forever a lot of times. So I'm just curious if perhaps we should evaluate these opportunities as something we could look forward to doing in the future.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. Brian, I would concur with what you said, but I want to also honor what Chair Lucero is saying, which is there's nothing wrong with sort of keeping track of these opportunities, but it's going to be a while before BCE can really engage in a meaningful way. So I think as long as you kind of manage expectations around that, you know, you can keep track of what's happening, but I fully concur with the timing situation that Brian laid out.
Yeah, I mean, I know that too. I just think though that we should be tracking things like this, you know, because we have so much hydro in our area, and at least see what that means. You know, who's going to be buying it? What are they? What are the details of that whole transaction?
And I'm happy I can reach out to our PG&E representatives and just get some information on them, from them on what they're selling, and see what I can glean.
Because you know, they might have also timetables on when they want to disenfranchise themselves from the.
Okay. I'll get some general information and also include that in my just information only report to you folks on the PPG matter, and then on some of the hydros that are for sale.
Okay.
Okay.
Does anybody have anything else for the good of the board? All right. Hearing none, we'll go ahead and adjourn to, it looks like June 14th, 2021. And Brian, I'm sure will be in touch with us before then.
Absolutely. And let's hope let's hope we're in a different place come June 14th.
All right. Well, happy holidays, everybody. Happy Hanukkah.
Likewise, thank you for your work.
Yeah, happy holidays, everybody.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays.
Good
Thank
night.
you.